Thank you for listening, and please go give us a 5-star rating on your preferred listening platform if you enjoyed the show. This helps us reach more listeners like you and keep booking amazing guests. If you'd like to join our growing EntrePods community, want our social media links to like or share, or inquire about one-on-one strategy calls with our host Jennifer, please visit EntrePods.com. See you next time, and here's to you and your best life imaginable.
Hey, EntrePods! Today we have a really great international show. I know, it's very exciting for all of us. So we are bringing you an amazing woman who hails from the beautiful lands of Iceland and Switzerland. She has been a CEO multiple times in her career. She's been a CEO of a software company. She's recently launched a real estate company, and she is an expert on virtual online companies. She is also in 2022 going to do one of the most unique and never been done before self-made summit there in Reykjavik, Iceland. And she's going to bring together over 1,000 female entrepreneurs. So let us welcome to the show a wonderful speaker, TEDx talker, and international great business coach, Sigrun. Welcome to the show, Sigrun. How are you?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for such a wonderful introduction.
Well, it's easy when there's someone as talented and has as many wonderful things in their background as you. So it's easy to pump you up when you have all this stuff to pump you up. So I'm really excited to have you on the show and to talk to you. And we were talking, Sigrun and I, right before the show. And as you know, I'm a huge advocate of online. When we can go online, I feel that that is the modern business place that I have for a decade. And Sigrun she actually went on her online journey because she was kind of forced into it a little bit because of illness and a little bit because of making a move. So Sigrun, just tell us a little bit about your journey and what made you switch to the career and what you're doing right now.
So I had been a CEO for a decade, and I was in my second last job before I switched to entrepreneurship, where I developed a repetitive strain injury. And I didn't know that at the time. It started with headaches and then, pain in my neck and shoulders and pinching ear pain. And the pain was so excruciating that I could not go to work anymore. And nothing was visible. It was just like, I could feel all that pain. It was worse when I was driving. So I stopped driving the car. And I took a summer holiday, and then I came back and it was even worse. So I realized it was my job, and I took a break. But then I had to go from doctor to doctor because repetitive strain injury is not very known sickness, and not really, let's say, especially not known in Europe. I think actually UK and US is more known among office workers and people who work a lot on the computer. And typically it's people who are quite ambitious, very focused, and have possibly some posture issues before. And
I straighten up.
Yes, straighten up as you're listening. Mm-hmm. And I had posture issues already as a teenager, but it was actually the job itself. The chair was too low, table too high, and long working hours, very little breaks. And holding your hand up a little bit, even if it's just a tiny bit for a long time, ultimately will lead to some pain. So I was sick for 7 months, but my brain was going on. It was the body that said no. It was not what we call a typical burnout. It was just the body that said, I'm not going to sit like this anymore. But the brain was going on like crazy. And I started to think about, well, maybe I should work for myself. Maybe I should have a job that doesn't make me sick. But when you are sick, it's hard to start a business. It is risky. And when I got offered another job where I could work from home and have flexible working hours, I took that. But turned out that job wasn't so great. It was more of a sales job, doing cold calling, something that I really do not enjoy at all. Mm-hmm. And so I basically had myself fired. So I had lost my job twice in 2 years. And there I was, having been sick and losing my job. I realized that I had become unemployable because I wanted my breaks in the middle of the day to take care of my health. I had 4 master's degrees, 10 years experience as a CEO. Who's going to hire that person? Nobody. I even tried to get a few jobs, but they did not want me. And that's maybe a blessing in disguise, because I decided this is it. But then I got into the next phase, which I see a lot of entrepreneurs go through, is that what is that fantastic business idea? What's the perfect business idea for me? How can I find something where I can quickly scale and make a lot of money and also live my mission and passion? And I was probably lost for about 18 months, where I went from idea to idea. I thought this perfect idea would come in the shower, on a walk, or on a holiday, and it didn't come. And it was actually first when I started to get frustrated with myself, and I started to blog about my journey, like how do you find your passion? How do you find your profitable business idea? That's when I hit the nail on the head. And I realized, well, I am actually a good business consultant, good business coach. I've run businesses successfully. I've been involved in startups and mergers and fast growth, and I can help others. And so that's when I finally started in January 2014 to do what I do today.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And I want to touch upon the points of, and we talk about this a lot, how are you going to get that breakthrough or move forward? And it often happens in times where we make our biggest strides, or sometimes in the worst times. What do they say? Hard times make strong men. Well, they also make incredible entrepreneurs. Because when you get that, we still have to live. We still have bills to pay. We still have dreams and desires. And even though you're sick, you've been fired, you feel you can't do what you did before, there is still the ability to think about it and move into something else. Don't give up then. So if you are sitting here listening right now going, you know what, I'm tired, I'm burnt out, but I know I have to do something different. Just start small, make positive progress every single day. You will get through it. This too shall pass, all those cliches, because just like Sigrun, you can really get to something amazing. Did you think that it would grow, Sigrun, as big as it has? When you started in 2014, were you always pretty confident that, yeah, you could do it? Or were there any times that you wondered if you had made the right choice with coaching or consulting?
I had no idea. I think my initial goal was just to make some money, replace my previous income. And that was all that I was thinking about. I wanted to do something that I would enjoy. So location independent business was key for me. I was living in Switzerland. I have a second home in Iceland. That's where my family and friends live. And I didn't want to be confined to one location. So it was more my lifestyle that determined what type of business I wanted to create. And once I had figured out, okay, with this lifestyle that I want to live in 2 countries, I want to take care of my health, I want to have flexible working hours, and I want to work with people from all over the world. I'm like, it's pretty obvious my choice to go into online business and then ultimately into business coaching. But to me, my goal was maybe 6 figures. Like I didn't have these big goals. I saw people making more money, and I thought, in the beginning, that's not me, that's them, they must have some special superpowers, or so I was pretty okay in the beginning to just like, let's go for those 6 figures. And I managed to get there in 12 months, and I was quite happy about it myself.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And then I doubled my revenue every year. I think actually the first calendar year was 70,000. The second calendar year was 160,000. The third one was 340,000. I was like, doubling. And I was like, once I actually achieved, 340,000, actually, I wasn't really there. It was 2016. So I'm like 1.5 years into business. It was actually September, and my husband lost his job. And he had a pretty good job, like he was earning the real money in the family. And he said, "You're doing so well. It's just growing and growing. Like, I don't need to go back to work." And I was like, what?
Pressure,
That's scary.
pressure.
No pressure. Yeah. But I was excited about the idea. So as I went into the fall, and this is in my third year of business, I was like, I'm going to sell out all my group programs. I had multiple group programs, and I typically sell them towards end of the year so they can start in January. And I got this extra push, like, I want to prove that I can do it. I want to earn enough money that my husband does not have to go back to work.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. This extra, that it's all about mindset at the end of the day. Like, I had things in place. I had the audience. I had an email list. I had a community, but there was this extra push that helped my mindset make more sales and ultimately then help more people. So I go into 2017 thinking, wow, I've already made 340,000 in a year. Like, can I go for the million? Is that possible for me? Am I maybe one of these people? These have these superpowers? Like, maybe those aren't any superpowers. It's just a journey. And it's seeing that it's suddenly possible for you. And I remember in February 2017, I wrote an email to my email list and said, this is the year that I'm going to make $1 million in revenue. And I don't know why I did it, but I felt I had to share with my community what I was trying to achieve. And they were like, yeah, do it. Like, they were like cheering me on. And then in August, I was only at 340,000, like exactly the number I had the year before. And I thought, well, I already told my community that I was going to achieve the $1 million. Like, how can I possibly
pull it off in August? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, make 2/3 of the revenue in 4 months. But I did.
That's so great. See, that's amazing. I love these stories. And I want you to listen to just how much Sigrun is like all of us. Everyone who's listening, we can be a Sigrun too, all of us, nothing is stopping us but us. Yes, we have governments that are crazy. We have corrupt politicians everywhere. Yeah, there's all this bad stuff, right? But at the end of the day, there's always been things like that. In every age, in every decade, in every lifetime, we live in interesting times, at least, right? But we have these opportunities, and it all stems from within. You just have to make positive forward. And I love that you were able to make it. And so that was the end of 2017. Tell us about 2018 till now. When did you stop working that and started really moving into your power as the incredible speaker, the incredible uniter of women entrepreneurs that you have stepped into now? Because it's an amazing story to go from that just in 2014 to where you are right now.
So yeah, 2017 was that breakthrough year, and it happened all like just literally on New Year's Eve. We crossed $1 million. Like, it's crazy. Like, it was a fantastic time. And then you come into a period, and this is what all entrepreneurs will experience, is like, you've had fast growth and now you need to almost catch up with yourself. There are behind the scenes things, there are systems, there's people, and you even, get a little bit like exhausted yourself. You've been on this run. It's also like a marathon, and now you've achieved the goal. I'm like, what's happening next? So it's not like there's always like growth. Yes, I've always grown my business. I went from 1 million to 1.5, then to 2.2. We had 2.8 last year. We're looking at 4 million this year. It's constantly growing. But what's happening behind the scenes is you have to start to build a team instead of working with freelancers and telling everybody what to do. And I had a pretty lean and really small team the first 4 years. And now I have 18 people on my team. They're not all full-time. I have a few full-timers and then part-timers. Some people just do one small particular thing, and others are responsible for all my programs, for instance. And that is the let's say the difficult work that is not so visible. Like outside, you have the social media, you have more and more clients, all that is kind of good, and that's what people see. But behind the scenes, for someone building a business, I think the work really starts to happen when you come to that point. Like the million was kind of like a milestone. Yeah, it was like this milestone. I have to get there, and I'm gonna. And then it's like, ooh, now I need to actually start to change my business. If I want to reach, for instance, 8 figures, I need to have a different type of business. I have departments, I have departments heads, I have a COO, like there's all these things. And I've run a lot of business in the past, but I typically came into a company where this was in place already. And that's a very different experience. Changing a business that relies on freelancers, changing it into a more of a corporate structure. This is so much mindset work, having the guts to hire people, and then you need to fire a few people too, and then keeping people responsible and realizing, actually, I don't want to follow up and chase people if they do something. I need to hire someone to manage the people. Or what I've actually realized recently, there are people who are just self-managed. So now I'm in the process of getting rid of the people who are not self-managed and only surround myself with people who are self-managed. So that's what's happening behind the scenes.
I can tell you guys that Sigrun just unpacked a lot. So in 10 years of scaling just virtual businesses, I have went through this exact same process, not only in the businesses that I own, but businesses I've helped scale. And I'm going to tell you, the mindset from being the entrepreneur to the owner of a company is a lot harder than you think, because we're control freaks as entrepreneurs. Giving up control and trust. You have to, just as Sigrun said, you have to start to focus in different ways. Before, it's all marketing and sales. As long as we bring in the money, as long as it's coming in with our marketing, leads, and sales, you have those 2 funnels that are coming in, and you start with that. Everybody pretty much starts with that. You're selling t-shirts out of your car trunk, like Nike or whatever, or forget which big company did that. But at one point, you have to have an entity. You have to change the structure of your business. You have to do legal work. You have to do a business plan. You have to think about all those things that you've put off to the side. And I'm going to tell you, if you think about them more sooner rather than later, it makes the mindset and the transition a lot easier than when I've already been doing this like this and it works. Well, that's great. But you're wanting to scale and turn it into another company. And now we're going to have to change. Those are very hard conversations, believe it or not. And getting the right people on board. And there are self-managed people. There are people who will take ownership, and you have to have the culture and the type of company that makes them want to take ownership and be self-managed. Because if it's toxic at all, if there's any sort of HR, management or personality issues, you won't be able to get those people. So there's a lot of work that has to be done before you can break through past that first initial stage. So don't discount that as, oh, that'll be easy, then I'll just hire people. Yeah, there's a lot more to that. And it's in a process. And I am going to advise you, not just because I'm a coach and Sigrun's a coach and consultant too, is get some help. Because if you get good help, if you get good mentorship, if you just take those trainings, Sigrun has group coaching that she does. She does a lot of other things. She has this great event that's coming up. It will really help you on the path. Don't try to go it alone with that, because you can just make more money, be happier, be less stressed when you have a better plan with someone who's already been there and done that before. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I would say in the beginning, when we are looking to exactly fuel marketing and sales, we look for those type of coaches. And when you come to my level, I'm looking for very specific coaches, like especially now I work with a team coach. So all the thoughts, because you start to doubt yourselves and you have all those mindset struggles, like, should I hire this person? Should I fire this person? Can these people work better together? Having a team coach that is really experienced in virtual teams is to help you. So I have specific coaches instead of having a generalist coaches, which it's good for the, let's say, up to the million you can get with the generalist business coach, but then you want to go into specific coaches and get really specific help.
Absolutely, because every company is different and your problems are going to be different. I'm working with a company now who does a lot of recruiting in government contracts, and we are building out an entire HRIS, human resource information system, and an applicant tracking system from what they had before. And you think, okay, well, that's just software. Now, I've done this implementation and I work with the company as a partner with this company. But it's a lot of mindset too, because the way they did things is going to be different. It's going to be easier. It's going to be more automated. But when you say more automated to the owner of the company, you, the entrepreneur, you're like, yeah. But I'm going to tell you, when you say more automated to the person who's been doing the work, they go, they're going to work me out of a job with software. And you get fear and you start getting these limiting beliefs. And there's a lot of emotions and things you've got to work through to say, no, we're not getting rid of you. What we're doing is we're going to make it easier to open it up so that we can focus on things that bring a higher ROI to the company. So we can utilize you to the best use. We're paying, a lot of small businesses end up paying someone really good money to do busy work that a software could do. As the business owner, you're going to have to make strategic choices for your team. And those strategic choices often can cause anxiety and other issues that you never really had to deal with before you hit a certain level. And now, as the business owner, when you're saying we're going to have a software, it's going to automate, there's often a lot of fear for that. Have you come up with that in your business, having to make those sorts of changes when you've upgraded?
Well, I have had issues when I brought in someone to be my integrator, or as we call COO. I brought someone in from the outside, and the team kind of sabotaged that transition a little bit. And it was a struggle for me to really figure out, is it the person? Or is my team just being dysfunctional with this person? Well, at the end of the day, it was the person that was a wrong hire and I had to let her go. But there was this few months where I was trying to assess what's going on. Is the team just, complaining because they don't want a new boss? Or is this new person not really doing their job? And that's when I brought in a team coach, because sometimes you do not see it. You're too close to it and you're kind of loyal to your team. At the same time, you want to give the new person a chance, and you need this neutral person in the background that says, you're actually right. This person is not right for you. It had less to do with what the team was, what was going on with the team. So automation less, because we had our online business, we're constantly trying to automate and no one feels threatened by that. But it's more bringing in new people from the outside that are somehow possibly more important or higher in the hierarchy, and that feels a threat to the rest of the team.
Yeah, because it's relationships at the end of the day. I mean, you can never forget as an owner that everyone can be somewhere else on your team. They've chosen to spend the majority of their life, their waking hours, with you, and helping the company mission and vision come to life, because they believe so much in what the company stands for and what they do. When you have a really great functioning company, everybody's really bought into that, because you can go somewhere else. I mean, it isn't the only, dog and pony show in the world, but you want to be able to provide something. And the great thing about this, when you think about it globally, and as we're stepping into a new empowerment for women and a new empowerment for many different types of leaders, is that if you create what you love, which is this business and this thing from your heart, and you create it, it will attract like-minded people and it will repel the people and the applicants that are not aligned to it. So when you lead with that mission, it's amazing how powerful that can actually be. So Sigrun, we're getting to the end of the show, but I want to talk about this incredible summit that you have before we go. So you have the Self-Made Summit, and it's coming up in Reykjavik, and it'll be in 2022. And can you just tell everybody about that and where they can go to find that?
Yeah, I think online business is great, but nothing replaces meeting in person. And we desperately need that after a difficult period of being, confined in our houses and only being able to go locally and not really to travel. I've had this dream for a long time to bring women together and inspire them to think big and take action. And I decided to do this in Reykjavik, Iceland, my home country, my hometown. The speakers are from all over the world. They're all 7-figure female online entrepreneurs. It's a very specific. Yeah, so I have a lot of speakers that wanted to speak. They were either men or they were women who were just not making enough money. I really wanted to demonstrate that the amazing, let's say, diversity we have, all kinds of women from all kinds of countries, all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of industries that are having so much success online, and they're just like you and me. And I think if we want to inspire the next generation of girls, next generation of women to really start to have more wealth and have a bigger impact and finally have some put a dent on the gender equality discussion and impact, women need to step up. Each one of us is a role model. You are a role model, I'm a role model. But the women in the audience, I want them to see that they are just like these women on stage that are making 7 figures. So they could be one of them. And it's so disappointing that only 2% of female entrepreneurs make more than $1 million. 90% of female-led or women-owned businesses make less than 6 figures. They have no employees. So they have very little economic impact because they barely pay themselves a salary. And so I want women to think about, like, a bigger business is not more work. It's actually less work. I'm working less now than when I had barely making 6 figures. And so the whole Self-Made Summit is this movement of women who want to be self-made. Self-made doesn't mean you're doing it all on your own. You still have a team, you still have support, you still have community. But that's the goal of the Self-Made Summit, to inspire women to think big and take action on their dreams.
Absolutely love it. And guys, we're going to have the website for you. We're going to have all the links. You're going to go to sigrunprograms.com, and that's SIGRUN programs.com. And again, the link and all the information is going to be at the bottom of the episode. This went very quickly, even with our little time we had to go back. And I really want to thank you, Sigrun, for being here, because it is so inspiring to me to hear someone that you're global, and you've had so much success, but you've done it in such a relatable way. Just like you said, anyone can do it who's aligned to it. This lifestyle isn't for everybody. I have friends and I love them dearly. They're the hardest workers on the planet, but this would stress them out. Being an entrepreneur, they would just not. That's not for them. And that's great, because they make incredible employees, and their companies are like glad that they're there. But for those of us who are aligned to it, don't go it alone. It's so much easier and better when you have a team. I know I'm so grateful and thankful to my team who helped me. And I don't want to be, editing and doing everything by myself anymore. That's just a lot. Sigrun, is there anything else you want to tell us before we go?
Yeah, I have a podcast, Sigrun Show, with over 450 episodes. So if you want to get to know me better, also my website is sigrun.com. And if you want a ticket to the Self-Made Summit, it's sigrun.com/selfmade summit as one word.
Okay. Okay, well, we've got it, and we will have those updated links for you. And guys, I want to thank you for being here today, being an EntrePod with us on this journey as we learn more about incredible people who are doing incredible work around our planet. Please be sure to like, comment, and share. And review us. This allows us to be able to have wonderful guests like Sigrun on the show, telling us things so that we can go out and use this valuable knowledge and change all of our lives for the better. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for being an EntrePod. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening, and please go give us a 5-star rating on your preferred listening platform if you enjoyed the show. This helps us reach more listeners like you and keep booking amazing guests. If you'd like to join our growing EntrePods community, want our social media links to like or share, or inquire about one-on-one strategy calls with our host Jennifer, please visit EntrePods.com. See you next time, and here's to you and your best life imaginable.